going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I got this guy over from behind me. And look down and wave.
Yo, what up,
waving?
dude?
Are you waving?
I'm waving.
Hey, bro, fist me. Hold on. Just reach down, bro, fist me. There you go. All right, perfect. I hope you did, because I actually can't really see you. Today, I want to talk about Super Battle Road, which is the brand new, incredibly difficult feature that was added in the Japanese version of the game. Globally, you'll get that probably in the next 3 years, because you know how fast it is to get the global updates, but it's coming. Just be patient. And
actually, to be fair, features like that, not banners, usually come out sooner than later.
Battlefield. Okay, to be fair, Battlefield got canceled.
Well, Battlefield never actually, like, this is official. Like,
Yeah.
this is legit. It's in the game. It's here every weekend. Battlefield always said in beta.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
that's different.
before we start, this video is a little bit different, Nano. Why is it different?
It's very different because there's a part 2 where we're talking about the bad of
Yeah.
Battlefield down below in the description.
Obviously, it's not the most perfect feature, and it needs a lot of work. But at the same time, there's a lot of good with it. So my video today, right now, is going to be all about the good of it. And in which case, in the comment section below, let me know what you think is good of it. Don't say anything bad, but if you want to, I mean, I guess by all means, go for it. But the bad, which we'll discuss on Nano's video, also link in the description below, we want to hear all your bad stuff about it, so make sure you go over there. So this is like a little fun 2-part video that kind of makes you, okay, so without further ado, let's talk about it. Well, actually, before we start, one thing I always toss out there. The amount of likes in this video is the power level of the video. So how much can you raise that by? Let's see what you guys can go for by hitting that thumbs up, of course, if you're having fun. All right, Nano, so you had a chance to kind of play with it. And
I did.
Obviously, we're not going to go into the bad, but what is it about the mode that you see that is actually good?
It is a challenge, like, without question. Generally speaking, I'll be real. I just select what's on my front page because, you know, you and I have pretty much every team we can build. Well,
yeah, right.
You're
Well,
missing a 100% AGL team, but you know that's besides the point. Anyway, so generally I just select whatever, which is usually an SSJ4, Gogeta. Occasionally Gohan, a lot of actually Golden Freezes, and I just go with it, and I play, and I generally do whatever the crap I want to do while I'm hitting bubbles. It's so cool because you actually have to focus. Like, you have to really pay attention to everything you're doing, and that is.
The first thing I want to kind of point out is it is a challenge. It's kind of BS. I have not beaten it yet. I've come close, and I kind of figure out. I figure out what I have to do to beat it. The strategy comes down to basically the team that you build, and of course also which type you bring, because each type is going to have different difficulties as far as the scaling goes, and how many items you use. I think the save point is using 2 items per fight, since there's 4 fights and you have a total of 8 items you can bring total. Well, technically you can bring 4 items, but 2 of each is what I mean. If they end up opening out 5th and 6th slot, I think that'd be beautiful for this mode, but that's something to talk about later. But the thing that makes it so amazing is number one is this is the true test. We've been wanting something difficult as far as, you know, testing your overpowered cards for months. And that's exactly what this is. 2, it's free stamina. You don't waste any stamina to do this. Like, this is literally just built to test your teams. It's an end game feature, I should call it. And do you want to define what end game actually means? Because I've actually had a lot of people tweet me and ask me, like, what does end game mean?
End game, I mean, like, you're done with the story. You've beaten all the Dokkan fests.
You ranked up. You got good teams.
Your team raffle stomps everything, and it's time to really put your knowledge of Dokkan to the test. And to test these teams out that you have obviously invested time and money and resources into,
and not necessarily completely whaled. I mean, obviously, if you whaled in the game, you have a much better advantage. This is why you and I can probably take that on a lot easier than most people. But I mean, you could have made an account like a month ago and got to like rank 300, got really lucky with your free-to-play stones before you start buying stones, and built these crazy teams. I mean, it just really comes down to like what you know about the game, and now this is like your true test to go into it. And that's what I like about it, is the fact that it's not like a thing that's required. I saw someone tweet me saying free-to-play is ruined. I'm like, huh?
No, this is free-to-play every weekend. It's just
free-to-play. Yeah, free-to-play has a lot of problems, but I'm gonna go ahead and point out that this is not what quote-unquote ruined free-to-play. What this does merely is it gives you a way to really test it. Because like before this, boss rush was a way to test out, you know, your teams. Because like you have to beat every single boss after one after another, and you know, figure out a way how to survive between like 6 bosses. But that even became easy, especially when category units were released. But now you have this, where it's like you're fighting rares and SRs, which is kind of ironic and funny. Yeah. And you have to figure out how to not get killed by Hercule, or how not get killed.
I was just like, you're sitting here like man, Tien and Yamcha, they're killing me over here. Like, what is the deal?
This is what I want to point out. And again, there's a whole bad section we'll talk about on Nano's video. I'm trying not to say anything that's negative about it, because trust me, there's a lot to also attack and dissect as far as that mode, which again, that video is in the description below. But the good part is I found myself this past weekend going back in over and over again, which I have not done in a long time.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Like when Boss Rush came out, you know, I beat it once, beat it twice. You know, I went through and beat it with all my different teams. And then after you beat it so many times, and especially category comes out, you're just kind of like, oh, we're kind of done with that now. Yeah, but like literally because I can't beat it, I've been going in over and over again and switching the teams and switching the types and trying to build teams. This weekend, you know what I saw, which I thought was beautiful? I saw people coming up with cards that you've never even used before for these things. For example, big shout to Alex, the Gaming Claw, the Gaming Cuck. He actually came up with the idea of using double intelligence Android 13 as leader. Now, what he actually does, and this is actually brilliant, what he does is he reduces the attack by 40%. So if you run double, you're reducing the attack by 80%. And also you can toss in a couple other cards in there that have passive that reduces attack. And that was a beautiful strategy because, like, if you played Super Battle Road, which you can see the gameplay over here, this is from my video this past weekend, you're getting hit on neutral for about 50,000 damage, and super attacks doing for about 150,000 damage, which is insane. On top of that, they can do a super attack multiple times. What Alex did is brilliant because when he ran that team, they were reducing attack by like 80, 85, almost 90%, and he was taking damage by about 7,000 each. Now, there's one problem with it. The one problem was, while that was a good attempt, you still have to do a million, 2 million, 3 million damage, which you can't do with leader about it like that. The whole point is you have to think about it in a very, very different way to go into these events and figure out like what's the right way to go about it. And that is beautiful. It's not about just running, you know, your same 3 teams, your Super Saiyan 4 Gokus, your Gogetas. Well, technically it is because those guys you have to rely on the most. But it also makes you think outside the box or looking at all the other cards that you don't really ever use in a situation like that. Caulifla shines. Caulifla literally shines for the AGL team.
Yes, she does. She absolutely does.
Now again, the bad part is there's a lot of RNG behind it, and if she decides not to, you know, dodge, same thing with the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, if he decides not to dodge, you're gonna hurt pretty badly. So, yeah, the mode is not perfect, and it's very, very difficult, and it makes you want to throw your phone. Borderline impossible for most players, but it's just something that you have to like go for. Okay, I'm about to drop some old school knowledge on you. And Nano, I know you're going to appreciate this. Do you remember the Calfied Queen in RuneScape?
Yeah.
Did you ever beat the Calfied Queen in RuneScape? Obviously with a raid, because you have to be with a bunch of people.
I'll be real, I actually never did. But
okay, I did once, and I felt amazing after that. I remember she dropped like a rune hatchet or something and some coins or something crappy. Or it might have even been like a rune shield, like a square shield, like something that you don't really care about. But like when Calfied Queen was first introduced in RuneScape, and a lot of you guys who played RuneScape will probably remember this, about to hit you with some nostalgia. It was like she was level 333 from what I remember, which was an insanely level. I think prior to that, the strongest monster at the time was the King Black Dragon, which had like I'm gonna say level 274-ish. And this might have changed, by the way, in RuneScape 3 or like the 2000.
I'm sure it's changed.
Yeah,
I'm sure it has.
When she was released at level 333, it was like impossible. You go near her, she kills you. And the idea was you're supposed to do with a raid. And I remember like people were angry about that. They're like, "Oh my God, this is stupid." She drops the dragon chain, which is like super rare, new item, awesome, like a status symbol. But at the same time, it's like next to impossible to beat. So a lot of people are angry until people figure out how to beat her. And then once like you actually teamed up and defeated her, you felt really, really good. This reminded me of that. And like, again, I haven't beaten it yet, but I've come really, really close. My problem was, which again, I was hoping to show off in a video this weekend, but I actually missed the date because it goes away like Sunday morning, our time, because it's in Japanese time. But next weekend, I'll try to record a video. But by the time I actually got a chance to sit down and actually figure it out, I think I figured out the right strategy to go about it, which makes it really, really fun. I mean, still has some RNG and luck involved with it, but there's something about it that was really, really fun, and that's what I ultimately love the most about Super Battle Road. Let's call it Super Dragon Road. Super Battle Road. Now, they might change some stuff about it because obviously this is out this weekend. I'm sure they got a lot of feedback. I'm sure they've seen a backlash. A lot of people were angry. But like with things like this, you just have to realize that, you know, you're not supposed to beat it right off the bat. I mean,
yeah, it's like any again in-game content in the game. It's all about trial and error until you finally win. Like you just said with the fight in RuneScape, same thing, and that's not a bad thing. Like exactly what you said. I'm gonna build upon what you said about people talking about different ways to do it. And like Alex's Android 13 build is I've not seen people discussing teams so in depth and so long about it. Like it's not just one set thing that is going to win you this. It's like grabbing all these cards you haven't used in months, years, whatever it might be, and like just going in and testing out things. Because again, 0 stamina, so you're literally losing nothing to do this. It's just it's so cool. Like that part of it is so cool.
One thing I suggested this past weekend that a lot of people seem to like, and I'll briefly bring it up again. I don't want to take too much time talking about this again. Is a way that it can also improve it is to scale, so anybody can actually take it on.
Yeah.
I feel like now it should be more of an end game thing. But like even the scaling idea would work, because like the way that my scaling was introduced was, let's say you go in with a 70% team as opposed to a 120% team. So like let's say Gotenks, Physical Broly, Super Vegito. Now instead of the average boss having 4 million, 3 million HP or 2 million, whatever the actual HP is, they have like 1 million HP, 1.5 million HP. Instead of hitting you for like 50,000 on neutral and 150,000 for supers, they're not hitting you for like 20,000 on neutral and hitting you for like 70,000, 80,000 on supers. Basically, based on how much health you go in and how much output for damage you can do, it scales out so you can kind of, anybody has an attempt at it. It's still difficult, no matter which team you bring out. Even like a year from now, if they have like 1,000% leads, it'll still scale up to that. So like it'll still be like a challenge thing down the road, which I feel like is why they should introduce that, because then it's like it'll never get old. But like it's still like it's just a cool thing to kind of go for, and that's what I like the most about it. And again, seeing people talk this past weekend trying to figure out the best strategies is just really, really cool to me. On top of that, you get an LR for it. Granted, he's not the best LR, and he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be more of a trophy than anything, but you get an LR for completing it. So it's like, how they did it, I'm like okay with. It's funny because when they first released it, I was happy. I was like, oh, this is cool. Then I hated it, and now I'm like liking it again. It's like it was a weird roller coaster of emotion this past weekend. But like Super Battle Road, I think it. Granted, you could also argue it was lazy, because all they really did is just they increased the damage output and they reduced damage you do. They could have probably figured out other ways to do it. Because like one of the good critiques I saw this past weekend was when Broly first came out, you had to basically use certain links to disable his rampage, which is how you beat it. Same thing with Cell. When Cell came out to stop his heal, you had to run certain teams, and that was also a good way to go about it. But like, you can only do so much with Dokkan, and this is not me trying to basically make excuses for them, but at least they did something. Because like, again, like us who've been playing Dokkan literally for the past months, whether you're a whale or not, it's gotten to the point where a lot of these events have become very, very easy, and like having something to test it, which doesn't take away from like the other aspect of the game, is really cool. Because you can still build amazing teams and go on into boss rush and win. You can still build teams and take on these monthly or weekly events whenever new Dokkan Fests come out. But this is something extra, and that's what I like the most about it. Nando, are you ready to talk about the bad? Because obviously it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to toss into this before we end this?
I mean, no. I think we pretty much hit everything. You get an LR. It's free stamina, and it's in-game content to go and test your teams, man. So I don't know. I don't really see like, it's just an additional thing to the game. I don't really see how you could really get too mad about those aspects of it.
Also, I know we joked about this, but the races on this will be fun.
Yes, they will.
Lots of rage, lots of sadness, lots of crying. This is gonna be hilarious, and like the content is gonna be fun to do with it. So overall, it is a good thing, but like I said, it's not perfect. So without further ado, we're gonna end the video right here and go to Nano's channel. And in the description below, we'll talk about the bads. So in this video, I want you mostly focus about the goods. If you want to say bad stuff as well, by all means, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you. I mean, you're allowed to basically say whatever you want on this channel, as long as you're not insulting. If you're being like that, well then get out. But other than that, you're allowed to speak your mind and opinions about everything. But the bad, we're gonna be focusing on the bad on Nano's channel. So to kind of keep it organized, let's kind of like stick with that. Again, the amount of likes in this video reflects the power level of it. So let's see how far you guys can raise it by hitting that thumbs up. And other than that, feel free to speak on it down below if you have a chance to play it. Global, it's coming sometime in the near future, probably after categories are out. Actually, technically, they could probably release it after the final 120%.
It could be before categories.
Yeah. Oh, totally one last thing I forgot to talk about. They kind of solved for the team leader problem. Because if you don't have a specific leader, it gives you a generic one.
It does. I can't believe we didn't say that.
Yeah, I wanted to say it earlier, but I forgot. But I think that's really cool. Granted, it still has some work to do, and they give you like a basic max SA Gogeta or Janemba, yada yada yada, with nothing in the dupe system. But you can also use your friends. But if you end up going into the specific modes, it automatically selects people who are using these set characters. So this could be also a hint of what's to come as far as fixing the friend system in the near future. So there is a lot to do with this. Alright, before we start talking for 3 years, let's go ahead and talk about the bad. So, in the description below, go click that video over there. Comment section below, let me know your thoughts on the good of this. And that's it. Nano, you ready?
Ready. Let's do it.
Let's tear this game a butthole now. We'll see you guys in part 2. Peace.